Are you only with him for his money? That one sentence shattered every bit of trust in the room. In an instant, the air in the living room split into two sides, suspicion and defense. My sister stood at the doorway, smiling with a hidden blade behind her words. The coffee cup in my hand trembled slightly. Mark's eyes shifted, from certainty to doubt. It felt like the air itself had been torn open. Later, she would choke up, cry for forgiveness in front of everyone, her humiliation and regret becoming her last defense. But for now, the conflict had only just begun. Enough. I raised my voice, keeping it under control. Why are you here? Just to start trouble? You don't understand our relationship at all. You think you can tear us apart with a few careless words? I'm only reminding him of the truth, she said lightly, as if spreading lies was the most natural thing in the world. Mark finally spoke, his tone low, but uncertain. "OP, did you ever say you wanted to marry a rich man?" I stared at him, momentarily forgetting to breathe. Yes, I had once joked about that, but it was years ago, in a time of confusion and loneliness. It meant nothing now. I looked at him, trying to make my eyes convey the truth. I was joking. That was years ago, a joke, nothing more. My sister sneered and sat down on the sofa, adopting her usual leisurely pose. "Oh, I knew it," she said. "This is the real truth. OP has always dreamed of marrying rich. Now she's finally succeeded. Don't pretend, everyone can see it." My parents' faces turned uneasy. My mother coughed softly, trying to ease the tension. The air felt thick, pressing on my throat. I took a deep breath, clenched my fists, and forced my voice to stay calm. "Mark, you should trust me, and us. Don't let one sentence from her decide how you see me." He said nothing, just stared at me as if trying to distinguish truth from lies. My sister watched, the corners of her mouth curling upward. Her smug, cruel smile filled me with disgust. "If you don't believe me," I said, turning toward the door, "then there's nothing I can do." I walked away, my steps firm though my heart trembled. Mark didn't stop me. He simply stood there, silent, as I left. The moment I closed the door, my heart raced. Inside, only her cold laughter echoed, followed by my parents' sighs and the lingering heaviness in the air. Mark's doubtful gaze still burned in my mind like a nail driven deep into my chest. I knew this wasn't just an argument. It was psychological warfare. A battle that would either destroy me or prove who I really was. I remember when we were kids. My sister could always control the mood of the whole house effortlessly. She was 3 years older, the so-called good child, smart, gentle, and adored by our parents. I was the opposite, average grades, stubborn, and painfully honest. I became her favorite target. Once, on my 7th birthday, she blew out the candles on my cake before I could and said, "Happy birthday, poor girl. Don't expect nice things." My parents laughed, thinking it was a joke. But that was the first time I tasted humiliation. Their laughter wasn't for me, it was for her satisfaction. At school, she never missed a chance to belittle me. When teachers praised her, she smiled sweetly. When they praised me, she would mutter, "See? That's the best you can do." Every time, I swallowed it in silence. But deep down, I vowed, someday I'll prove myself. In college, her control grew stronger. She disguised manipulation as advice. And even called my roommates to warn them that I was unreliable. That's when I realized, she wasn't just a jealous sister. She was a master manipulator who thrived on control, humiliation, and fear. After graduation, I moved to the city and became a teacher. The salary wasn't high, but I finally felt free. Still, every visit home reminded me of her shadow. She would boast about her success to our relatives, turning my hard work into the punchline of her stories. Under her sweet smile, people always sided with her. And I just lowered my head and endured. Then, I met Mark. He was a lawyer, busy, but calm and kind. He wasn't easily fooled by appearances. With him, I finally felt understood. And realized that I could have happiness on my own terms. But my sister, like a venomous snake, always struck when I was most content. Her jealousy and control never died. Every word, every act of hers became a cut across my heart. "OP, you'll always just envy others." She said that at my college graduation, champagne glass in hand. "Look at you You can't even respect yourself, yet you want others to respect you? I remember standing at the back of the hall, fists clenched, tears barely held back. But those moments shaped me. I learned calmness. I learned to master my emotions. Every insult she threw, I memorized, not for revenge, but as training. After meeting Mark, I realized I finally had the chance, not to destroy her, but to protect myself. So I began collecting evidence. Every lie, every slander, I quietly documented. When she accused me of loving money, I noted who heard it, when, and how. I contacted old friends she had turned against me, rebuilding trust in secret. Each conversation, each message became a piece of the puzzle. That week, I trained myself to replace anger with precision. After the fight in the living room, I didn't explode. I simply wrote everything down: Mark's reaction, my parents' expressions, her tone, the exact timing. That night, I wrote in my diary. She thinks she can destroy my happiness. She doesn't know I've learned how to stand firm. I began rehearsing the future. What if she tried again? What if she spread more lies? Each mental rehearsal was vivid, like a movie. I could see her unraveling in front of the truth. I wasn't seeking vengeance out of hate. I just wanted justice, with facts, calmness, and strategy. Finally, the day came. Mark called me, saying he wanted to know more about my past. I knew, this was it. I wasn't nervous. I was ready. I gathered every file, videos, messages, recordings. The time had come to bring the truth to light. In the kitchen, I handed Mark a cup of coffee. On the table lay my laptop and a small portable speaker. Sunlight slanted through the window, glinting on the water ring on the table. Mark took the cup, still a little uneasy, but there was trust in his eyes now. "Are you sure you want to do this?" he asked quietly. "Yes," I said. Opening my laptop, I pushed the screen toward him. The title read, Evidence Catalog. Video clips from the family gathering. Aunt's voice message. Screenshots from my old roommate. And recordings of my sister slandering me. My tone was calm, like reading from a work report. Mark nodded. "All right. What's the plan?" "We'll invite my parents and a few close relatives." He squeezed my hand, a silent show of support. 15 minutes later, the living room was full. My parents looked uneasy. A few childhood neighbors and a cousin who'd witnessed my sister's past behavior sat quietly. Then she arrived, late, as always, because she believed being late proved control. When she entered and saw everyone, she froze for a split second. Then smiled as if nothing could touch her. "What's going on?" she asked with that mocking lilt. I stood up, set the speaker where she could see it, and said clearly, "I think everyone deserves to hear the full truth, not just her version." I pressed play. Her own voice filled the room. Sarcastic laughter, cutting words, whispered manipulation. The first clip. At last month's family party, she said to a relative, "Do you know OP's been dreaming of marrying rich? She's just found a man she can use." Her tone was smug. The recording was crystal clear. The second. A phone call from years ago, when she told my roommate I was untrustworthy. The third. A text message to my mother after a family event. Full of insults about me and twisted quotes she made up to defame me. Silence fell. Then soft murmurs. My mother's face went pale, her hands trembling. My sister's smile froze. She tried to speak, but I stopped her by showing the final proof. A recording from the day she first met Mark. "OP just wants a rich guy, you know how she is." Mark's face went cold. How do you have all this?" she stammered, panic breaking through her voice. "You thought controlling the story was easy," I said evenly. "You never imagined someone would document every word you used to hurt me." Our father finally spoke, voice heavy. "Linda, are these real?" Her eyes darted from the laptop to me. "These are taken out of context." You shouldn't believe edited clips. Her words tumbled over each other, growing frantic. I didn't answer. Instead, I projected the last piece onto the wall. A long text message she had sent me, detailing her plan to expose me at the family gathering, complete with mocking phrasing and a timestamp. Her name glowed on the screen like a confession. The room shifted. Relatives who once adored her now stared with cold disbelief. My cousin's voice cut through the silence. Linda, why? Do you know what you've done? Her lips quivered. I just wanted to warn everyone. Warn us, or humiliate her, my father said, his voice firm now. Do you have any idea what this has caused? Mark stood, looking her straight in the eyes. I doubted her because of your words. That was my mistake. I asked her friends and co-workers. They all said the same thing. She was never what you said she was. Linda, why did you make all this up? Her gaze wavered, fingers tightening and loosening again. You don't understand. I just couldn't stand her. You couldn't stand her, my cousin interrupted. So you thought you had the right to destroy her life? Everyone began to shift toward my side. The balance of our family, the invisible hierarchy, was breaking apart. I looked into my sister's eyes, calm and clear. I'm not here to destroy you. I'm here to stop living in your shadow. You can admit and apologize, or keep denying it, but the truth is right here. Tears began to spill down her cheeks. No, this can't be happening. You can't do this to me. I didn't mean. I was only joking. Your jokes have gone on long enough, I said. They caused years of isolation, humiliation, and mistrust. You didn't just hurt me, you systematically made others doubt me. If you won't face it now, others will still find out the truth. The words hit her like a needle through her skin. Her body trembled. Her voice broke into sobs. I'm sorry, I shouldn't have done it, I was jealous, I just. Stop. I interrupted, calm but firm. This isn't a game you can fix with a single apology. You need to face the consequences. My mother broke down, tears streaming. Linda, why did you do this? You're both my daughters. You've made this so painful. My sister fell apart. Don't kick me out. Please. I'll change, I swear I'll change. Her voice was high and shaking, like a small bird in a storm. No one answered. Mark said quietly, you need help, professional help. You need to learn how to stop hurting people. His tone wasn't cruel, it was resolute. I walked to the door, turned back once. I'm not here to ruin your life. I just won't live in your shadow anymore. What you need is change, not pity. What I need is my dignity back. Her body crumpled onto the sofa. Tears streamed down her face, her words reduced to broken murmurs. The power she once wielded was gone, replaced by fear. Things didn't return to normal immediately. My parents talked to her at length. They arranged counseling and restricted her from speaking for others at family gatherings. Relatives began watching her behavior more closely, no longer blindly believing her. Mark and I sat in the kitchen afterward, sipping coffee gone cold. He squeezed my hand. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have doubted you. I smiled through tears. It's okay. What matters is that you chose to believe the truth. Months passed, and life settled again. My sister, with help from therapy, began reflecting on her actions. Sometimes she sent apologetic messages. I replied briefly but firmly. I acknowledge your effort to change. But our relationship needs time and boundaries. That confrontation wasn't about revenge. It was about justice, giving the pain a name, proof, and consequence. Her tears weren't something I wanted to see, they were simply the truth catching up to her. She finally understood. Losing trust is far more terrifying than losing control.